the Golden Girl, is back to talk gold with us. Ainslie, what will gold do this week?
Oh, after its little hiccup last week. Interesting. Let me just grab a screen. I'm just going to stop Ash's screen just to test. Yes.
You're right there.
Yeah, I'm just trying to stop the screen sharing there. So
there we go. All good.
All good. Sorry about that.
Got your charts up now. No problems, Ainslie.
Great. Thanks, Paul. Well, after yet some more consolidation on gold, we ran foul of a strengthening US dollar, and yeah, the bond yields certainly took off on Friday, as we could see here. There was just, after holding support for quite some time, right through this area through here around that 1785 through to 1794 area, it just broke down and all bets were off. And we had been hopeful that it would hold that support, but there was nothing stopping it on Friday. It just took a nosedive and away it went. With the continued strengthening of the US dollar, I can only suggest that perhaps we will see a further slide on gold, just from no other reason but because the US dollar is its counterpart, and it's just, I'm expecting it to come back down around the 1730 mark, which is just over here on the right hand side on the daily chart. It just is going to be an uphill battle. I can't, in all honesty, just say when you've got that move, that it was so solid, it's probably one of the strongest moves we'd had since the 6th of August after the last NFPs back in August, on a daily move like that. It was quite vicious, and I would suggest that when you look on the 4-hourly chart at how the velocity of this bar here, I'd say a lot of stops that had been hit and away it went. So at the moment, we're just going to have to tread carefully to see if there is further downside move on gold. But yeah, not quite where we would like it to be. And by the same token, we're coming into the end of September. End of September is really the end of a long on the seasonal rally that we didn't quite get at all on gold this year. But anyway, that's a seasonal bias is only that. It is a seasonal bias, and it's just something else to have behind you when you're looking at a trade setup. Didn't get it, not to worry. Let's just see where this lands before we get a bit more of a renewed interest in gold, which we really don't see again, fingers crossed, until end of November.
Yeah, my feeling still is that the big money's buying the dips in gold, that it's not particularly freaked out by this, and it's down there buying. Any levels you're looking for on the downside, Ainslie? Any sort of targets where you think it might bounce from?
Yeah, my next one that I think it'll bounce on is this one here, which is that 1730 mark.
Oh, yep, that's got a bit of history for sure. Okay.
Yeah, it's a really strong area, but if if all the brakes come off, we're back down here around that 1680 level, which was, as you can see on a daily basis, it's quite strong down there.
Yeah, and so 1680, we're talking about, this isn't a big deal until we get a close below that. We get a close below 1680 on gold, and all of a sudden that is becoming deeply concerning, right?
Yeah, that's a different game.
Yeah, that is
a really different game. You could say, look, at the moment we're looking at a really big range just here between this 1750 and 1830. It's 1832, 1833 kind of area up here, which it just did not crack. It had 4 attempts at it, didn't crack it. So, it hasn't performed like it has previously with a seasonal bias this year, but that's the way it goes. Everything's a little bit different than it was previously. So you just bundle all up, look at price action, and see where to next.
And this is a US presidential electoral year, and that quite often has an impact on gold pricing, right? This is not out of the book all of a sudden for gold to be in a different thing after, and particularly one where we've seen a very different type of gold sentiment driven to some degree, and we have a very different type of approach from the president of the US, and sentiment goes around that, right?
Yeah, so if you look at a chart for 2013, it had similar hallmarks like this. So it does happen every now and again, but not after every election. So you don't just say, well, it is a US post-presidential election, but 2013, it's not dissimilar.
Going to be an interesting time, mate. And this is it, right? That last year you had an amazing year on gold at Rally to win the seasonal patterns, and you just smashed it. And this year's where we show that you are an incredibly good trader, because the key in this year is not to destroy your accounts, right? It's about understanding it is different, being patient, being careful, and the truth is at some stage gold will rally and you'll smash it again, right?
Oh, look, bring on 2022, I say.
Nice, Ainslie. Thanks.
Be back for oil.
Thank you very much. Look, our next guest is Shukri. Shukri Ahmed's going to come in and